T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart.
This is as far as you go. No more.
Hello, Sydney. Are you a God damn you.
Wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
Ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today, I almost said it was the Sunday Horror Hangout. Holy.
Dude, in my head, I was like, it's Sunday. Wait, it's not.
It's not. It's Tuesday. Oh my God, it's Tuesday. Eric, I haven't done a Tuesday show since we were doing those fan films, and we would do mine on Monday, yours on Tuesday. So it is somewhat of a homecoming, but it's every other Tuesday now, baby. Here we are, Tuesday nights, and we're gonna start it off. We're gonna start it off with a bang. Because we're talking Welcome to Derry. Now, I usually don't do this. I usually don't just jump into a show and say, you know what, I'm going to spend a whole show talking about one show. You know, like it's usually not my style. Every once in a while, Eric, a show comes along that warrants a live show. And if I do say so myself, Welcome to Derry has definitely earned itself time talking about for a whole hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever we end up doing today. And I couldn't think of anyone better than to do that than you, my friend. I know that you're off of a fresh watch of Welcome to Derry, whereas I watched it week by week by week, which I want to go back and watch it again. So I'm sure that it's a lot more fresh in your mind. So I'm looking forward to you, not only your opinion of everything, but you pointing out some things that I may have forgotten or may have missed, because you have to remember there was a whole week in between episodes for me to where you were lucky enough to just binge it on through. What's up, buddy? How you doing,
So
man?
I'm great. I'm so excited to talk about this. I will say, also for those who don't know, you're a huge reason that I'm such a fan of it. It came down to time where I was ready to I binge watch shows. For everyone out there, I don't do week to week. I cannot do it. I won't, my brain won't let me. I will wait until a show has every episode is released,
Yeah.
and I will binge watch it. Excuse me. I did that with Welcome to Derry in one night.
That's
And
so awesome.
it came down to a time where I'm like, okay, I can either binge watch season 5 of Stranger Things or the first season of Welcome to Derry. And I called you, literally called you. I was like, which one do you think I should do? And you are a huge reason of why, like, okay, so Welcome to Derry it is. Before that, I had not heard a single negative thing about Welcome to Derry. I have yet to hear a negative thing about Welcome to Derry. I don't think it exists. Like, I don't know if there's such a thing as perfection in a TV show, but this is one of the closest things I've ever seen to it.
And you know, the Stranger Things fan that I am, you know, so it was hard for me to be like, you know what, dude, I've got to come down to which I think is better. I spoiler alert, I was not a huge fan of Stranger Things season 5. And when the opportunity arose to where you're like, which one, I had to do, you know, what I thought was right and be like, bro, do Welcome to Derry. You've been binging Stranger Things. Take a break. This is it.
And that's another thing that I guess I didn't say. I had just a week and a half, 2 weeks prior, binged seasons 1 through 4. Because up until then, I had only watched season 1. I watched season 1 all the way back when it came out. In preparation for season 5, I'm like, okay, well, I need to binge every season. And I got really into Stranger Things. Like, it's a great show. I will say, I just heard you say it, and I've seen a couple other people in the chat say it. And I've seen a lot of people on the internet say it. Stranger Things season 5 was underwhelming for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad. It was just underwhelming. So I think and I still haven't watched season 5 yet. I know a little bit about what happens because, you know, just seeing things around the internet.
Yeah.
But after watching Welcome to Derry, I'm like, I would take this over the best season of Stranger Things there is. And that's hard to say because I do love Stranger Things. Like, it was good. It was like, it hits the nostalgia notes so perfectly. But what I can say is I think Welcome to Derry hits that note as well. But it also has, like, in terms of scariness, nowhere in Stranger Things does it come close to Welcome to Derry.
I think it's funny, dude, because, you know, because of the time frame that Welcome to Derry came out and the time frame that Stranger Things came out, they will forever be compared now. You know, like, those two shows have nothing to do with each other whatsoever. But because they came out around the same time, people will always compare them. And it has nothing else, you know, they have nothing else in common other than that. You know, they're two totally different things. But it's freaking hilarious because you see that everywhere on social media. You do. You see it like, this is better than Stranger Things, or Stranger Things is better than this. It's like, but they're two totally different things. The time that it came out is why they'll be forever compared, man. And it's freaking crazy. It's freaking crazy.
And to give some more credit, play a little bit of devil's advocate. Like I said, I still haven't seen Stranger Things season 5. I might love it, but I will also say they're also wrapping up 4 other seasons. So and from what I understand, there was some, like, stuff where they were trying to finish up a whole lot of different storylines at one time.
Yeah.
Whereas Welcome to Derry wasn't dealing with that really. Like, Welcome to Derry was more free because it's only the first season. It's a lot more free to do things that they wanted to do.
They weren't held accountable for anything, right?
Exactly. But I will say, like, even still, if I'm comparing season 1, which I think season 1 is probably the best season of Stranger Things to me.
Yeah.
If I'm comparing those seasons side by side,
yeah,
I'd probably still take Welcome to Derry.
And that would probably be the fairest comparison, right? I honestly think that would probably be the fair thing to do if you were to compare those two shows, because you hit the nail on the head when you said there were no expectations for Derry. Like there was to it fans, right? There was for that, but at the same time, they had a lot more freedom. You know what I mean? To do different things, to where Stranger Things was held to a certain, you have to follow, one of these paths, a little more restricted.
What I will say, and I'll say it because we're not into a spoiler territory yet. We haven't gotten there.
Yeah.
What I will say is, though, Welcome to Derry didn't have to, but they still did work within some confines.
Oh, they did.
And throw some stuff out there that they didn't even have to, but they did so brilliantly.
Yeah.
Like there's things that happen in that show that I'm like, they didn't have to do that, but the fact that they did, brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's like, when we get to spoilers, man, I can't wait, because there's so many things where, like, because I'm not an It expert. I'm not a Shining expert. I'm not.
Me neither. Yeah.
But one thing that it did, or Welcome to Derry did, it immediately made me want to go rewatch the It movies and rewatch The Shining. Like, and then once I watched those, that made me want to go rewatch Welcome to Derry again.
Nice.
Like they go back and forth because they're so good together. Yeah. And I will say, and this is, we'll hit on this more later. I know the fact that we still don't have concrete confirmation of seasons 2 and 3, even though the creators have said they have a plan for seasons 2 and 3 of Welcome to Derry, is baffling to me. I don't know what HBO's deal with.
I will say this, okay, and here's the main takeaway from that. There is no way in effing hell that HBO won't pick up Welcome to Derry season 2. My one thing that has to happen for it to happen is Bill Skarsgård has to come back. Like you can't not have Bill Skarsgård. And if by some chance he's like, you know what, I played Pennywise enough, I don't want to do it anymore, can you really replace him and have that same get that same result that you got from the first season? I don't think you can, Eric. I really don't. And I think that that's something huge that has to happen. He's the only person that has to come back, because if they're going to do what I think they're going to do, and what, they've kind of hinted at that they were going to do, is they're going to go back, right?
Yeah. So, they're going to go back to what, 35?
In that range, right? With the gangsters and, he's the only one that they have to lock down. And if I'm the creator, the Machetes, I am at his house right now cooking him breakfast. Like, bro, like you got to do it. You have to.
Here's the thing. I agree. There's no one who can play Pennywise like him. However, I don't think he's the only one who can play Pennywise. He's the only one who can play Pennywise like that. But as we saw in the show, in the show, just in general, Pennywise can take other forms and still be just as frightening. Now, we're not gonna get that flair that Pennywise has, but
there's no way you don't have Pennywise dancing clown in Welcome to Derry season.
And here's the thing: you can have Pennywise. I think you could still have him. Like, he's not going to be the same, but I think for me, it doesn't mean he's not going to be as good. He definitely just won't be the same.
I don't think you do it, because it falls into the Machete timeline of it chapter 2. Now, Welcome to Derry season 1. Skarsgård was top dog in all 3 of those. Believe it or not. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much better did the show get once Pennywise was revealed?
And that's something I wanted to bring up too, but I don't know if that's a spoiler if you even say how far in when Pennywise actually shows up.
Well, either way, like say that we don't right now. Say that we don't. But everybody knows that he's going to be revealed. Hell, he's on the poster.
You do know he's going to be revealed, and I think that actually lends itself to a lot more like suspense, because you're asking yourself the whole time, when's he going to show up? When's he going to show up?
It's going to happen.
It's like, is this a trap? And then, I mean, at the point it does happen, you're like, oh, well, they're going there. Of course he's going to show up.
Yeah.
And I think the way they did it, oh my gosh. Duck and cover, kiddos. Bro, yep. I lost it. Yeah. I lost it so much.
Dude, it was so good, Eric. The reveal was so good.
And you I wanted to believe it. I knew it wasn't true. When that one thing happened and you're like, yes, it can't be true. This is too good to be true. Yeah. You want to believe it. You do. And I'm trying so hard not to get into spoilers just yet. But it's like your heart is like, oh my God. That's an explanation that I can accept. Yeah. It's true. It's true. And then gosh.
Yeah.
Dude,
and I mean, let's jump off of Pennywise, because we'll go back. Let's talk about some of the casts that they had this season. Okay. Right. Characters alone. Let's start with Dick Hallorann, right? Let's start with that. Now, if you don't know, Eric, Dick Hallorann is from where?
Dick Hallorann is from The Shining. And I think he also makes a small appearance in Dr. Sleep.
Okay. And that I did not know. I did not know that he made a small appearance in Dr. Sleep, but a familiar name for horror fans. And you start to wonder, how is he going to factor into this? How do you think they did with Dick Hallorann's character?
So I'm going to be honest. I didn't even ask when I heard that he was in it. How's it going to factor into this? My immediate thought was, oh, they just wanted to throw out another Stephen King name just to have a few more tie-ins.
Kind of an Easter egg, if you will, if you've seen The Shining and you know the name.
I thought he was just going to be someone in the background. You can be like, oh, he's going to be a major character in this other story.
Right.
We don't win without Dick Hallorann. No. We all die without Dick Hallorann. Quite literally, we all die without Dick Hallorann. Bro.
And the casting. Chris Chalk.
Chris Chalk.
Yeah.
He ended up being, for me, and I haven't gone through and made like an actual list, but off the top of my head, I don't have any reservation saying he's top 3 character in the show for me.
Yeah. And the way he came up, I'm not going to lie. It took me longer than it should have to recognize, Dick Hallorann, right? Because my mind, when I was watching it the first time, was thinking Hanlon. Hallorann and Hanlon are so close, right? So I'm thinking at the beginning, I'm like, there's no way that he could be related to Mike. And I was getting Hallorann in my head. It was like the Shining was meshing with it in my head because the names are so close, right?
They are.
And then I was like, you start to see what he can do. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I know who this is. And like I said, a little later than I wanted it to be for someone that has a horror show, right? And I'm just like, how, I was kind of like with you, like, how big of a role is this character? I'm expecting him anytime to be like, well, see you later, get in his car and, and he's gone. But he didn't, man.
Not only it was so great seeing it.
Yeah. And not only did he not leave, dude, he probably, and I'm not going to say what it is, we'll talk about it later when we get to spoilers. He probably dropped the dime of all dimes of lines at the end. When, what do you see? And then he drops that gem of dialogue that's...
I got goosebumps just from knowing what happens.
3 fucking words, and the look on his face, dude, said it all. He only needed those 3 words. And it's just like, how good is this fucking show? I have not had a show that made me want to cheer and cry at the same time for a horror show of all things, and just be like, you know what? This is the dopest shit I've seen all year. This is unfucking believable.
And
so good, man.
To get back to Chris Chalk for a second, not even like Dick Halloran, obviously that's the character, but get back to the actor. Chris Chalk sold every single thing like he was feeling. Like Whitney, obviously he's in the military. He's Air Force, so kind of military.
Yeah,
but we'll consider.
We'll let him hang out. You know,
we'll let him join us this time.
They're invited to the barbecue, but they got to sit at the kids' table. All right, I got you.
But like, bro, there's a part, and we won't get into any specifics, but it's nothing spoiling, where he's in the room alone. He's going through some stuff, and he's got a gun, and you're like, you feel it. You're like, come on, man, like this.
Yeah.
You have so much left, and obviously, if you are a horror person, if you're knowledgeable about horror, he doesn't. You already know, because we see him later in life in The Shining.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, he's the old man in The Shining who meets with Danny at the very beginning. He's the chef or the cook at the Overlook Hotel. But so like we know he doesn't, but Chris Chalk played it so well, you still felt like there was a chance he was going to.
Well, I mean, you got to look at his scenario. He doesn't know what's real and what's not. You know what I mean? Like
he worked so hard to do what he did and live his life and to live a normal life. And then we see all of that being undone.
Yeah.
And it was undone because he wanted to save people. That's the thing. If he hadn't have acknowledged what happened and ignored it, because he gives us that line, and we'll talk about it more in spoilers, that as long as he doesn't acknowledge it, everything's okay. They're just there. As soon as you acknowledge it, it doesn't stop. And the only reason he acknowledged it was so he could save people's lives.
Yeah.
And dude, he killed that performance. Like Scatman Crothers, great Dick Halloran, old Dick Halloran. This dude, casting was on point.
Yeah. Dude, we have jumped right into this, and I'm just now like I'm seeing the chat pop up. Dude, let's give a blanket hello to everybody. I do apologize. We were so excited to talk about this that I just literally was like, here we go. Like, we're jumping in right away. So I do want to say what's up to everybody. I see that Jerry's in the chat. I see Michelle's in the chat. I see that Russell's in the chat. I see DJ's in the chat. I saw Melissa was in the chat. Jeff D'Angelo was in the chat. I just want to say what's up to all of you guys, and anybody that I may have missed. I do apologize, but yes, blanket hello to everybody. And I do want to read a couple of these comments here, Eric. Michelle had thrown this out, and she said, if anyone has read Dr. Sleep, you'll understand how The Shining and Dr. Sleep tie into it as well as Dark Tower. So I have not read Dr. Sleep, but I'm a sucker for a good audiobook when I'm traveling. So I'll definitely check that out for sure. I absolutely love it. Hell yeah. Let's see. DJ was saying they need to introduce a younger Tim Curry. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I love Tim Curry, right? Very much. And if I had to say which is your favorite version of Pennywise, I would probably say Tim Curry. But I feel like this is Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise's story. I do. I feel like they, for this story anyway, and not to say that they couldn't do it in the future, something like that, but I feel like we need this version to finish this story. I honestly feel like that's what they need to do.
I would go even a step further. This is this Pennywise is not the same Pennywise we see in the movies.
Oh, definitely not.
But episode 7 and 8, which is the finale, and then obviously 7, the pre-finale or whatever, like penultimate episode, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 episodes, Pennywise is significantly different than what you see in it chapter 1 and chapter 2.
Yeah.
It chapter 1 and chapter 1 specifically, I'm going to be honest, it chapter 2 was not my favorite, really wasn't my bag. I didn't find Pennywise really that scary in it chapter 2. I found like it was more humorous than scary. Pennywise in this show is more terrifying than I think he's ever been.
Yeah. I will agree with that. And I'll agree with what you said about it chapter 2 as well. But there's always a button there, Eric.
Always.
One of my favorite lines, from, both of those stories is Georgie in the basement when, his brother comes down, the adult version. And you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float. So good, dude. So good. It's spoiler alert. It's making spoiler alert. It's making the new intro. Okay.
I was about to say almost as good as Down with the Clown.
Yeah.
Down with the Clown.
Look, you'll float too. Like, dude, that guy who now goes to conventions has been known to stand up with the crowd of people and do that, and it's so good, man. Everybody, like, that's his thing now at this point, and it's so good, dude, and it's so recognizable. And you've got Pennywise coming up out of the water next to him, working him like a puppet. If you see his hand, he's got his back. It's so good, man. So damn good.
Speaking of 2 things, one, working like a puppet, I feel like there's a better puppet scene in this show. And Welcome to Derry.
It's possible.
Speaking of conventions, Monster Mania, March 6th through 8th, Arian Cartea is going to be there. Our boy Rich, his first convention, Monster Mania Con, March 6th through 8th. So I might make that trip just to meet Rich. Once you watch the show, or if you've watched the show, you'll know. Rich also, top 3 character. He's battling for first place. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Also, do great performance. It's impossible to talk about Rich without spoilers.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I understand that. I do.
So okay. So after Dick Halloran, we also talked about Pennywise.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Well, hold on. Let me answer this right here. So Michelle was saying, I guess I don't understand what you mean when you say that Pennywise is different. More along the lines, for me, I do think that he's different. Not in a, like, I don't think Pennywise would do this type of different way. I just think that in my mind, he came harder. Like, he came more in your face. More aggressive. Not that he was like, oh, I don't recognize him, he's a different guy. More of like, they were not fucking around with Pennywise, and he came full bore, in your face, violent. You know what I mean? Like just nasty, and it's all in a good way. 100%. Like, it was, Bill Skarsgård was just fucking fantastic in that. But moving
that's
on,
that's exactly what I meant too. Like, he's more violent. Like, the violence in this, for me, was like just tiers above the violence we got in It Chapter 1. And maybe It Chapter 1, since it was going to theaters, they needed to be more reserved, so they knew they would make their money back. But the violence in Welcome to Derry, I feel like I said, I feel like it was just so much more, and so much more explicit than the violence we got from Pennywise in the movies.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what we were talking about. Not that he, like, it was all like, yes, well done. You know what I mean? With that, like, Bill Skarsgård, if you're going to come back and do Pennywise, you do it that way, and you freaking did it. Like, well done. But Eric,
the tricky part is that this is supposed to be before that.
Well,
yesterday or tomorrow, it's all the same for little Pennywise.
I want to say more, and we will. I promise. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna start. We're just gonna tear it apart. All right. I'm sorry. It's gonna happen. And all in a fantastic way. Let's stay with the cast, Eric. So we talked about Dick Halloran, we talked about Pennywise. The cast of kids as a whole. How did they do with the new Losers Club in your mind? Like, how did you feel with the selection? First, we'll start with the characters themselves. How did you like the characters? And then we'll talk about, the people that portrayed these characters.
The characters were. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget any of them. But from what I can remember, they were all extremely well written. Like, none of them were one dimensional. They all had something about them that like made them interesting.
Yeah.
And they played it so well. Obviously, you got Marge, who you don't know what's up with Marge for a lot of. You're like, is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Like, it was so, and she played it so well, because a lot of times you're like, yeah, I don't know, she really wants to be a friend, but she's just trying to be cool. Right. She wants to fit in with them. And the turnaround on her character, like there was literally points in the show where I'm like, I want her to get her head bitten off by Pennywise. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh no, I want her to curb stomp Pennywise. And so perfect. Marge was great.
Good character progression with Marge.
I think Marge had the best arc. Okay. Like Marge, because like I said, from the beginning, you're kind of uncertain about her. You get to a point of certainty and you love her.
Yeah.
So for me, Marge was great. Lily, probably the most sympathetic character. She goes through the ringer. Like Lily goes through from the start. And even before the show, like you find out they do a really good job of slowly developing and like giving you what happened to her before the show starts, which was really smart, because you're starting on a point where something has happened to this character, and it lends itself to adults not believing her even more.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Ronnie was that's right. Ronnie's the daughter, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Like I'm not great with the names. Like I said, it was week by week. Yeah.
I think Ronnie was the daughter of the theater, theater. Theater work. She had to play angry so well, and she did, and it was one of those things where she had a right to be angry, and then she funneled it the proper way. So Ronnie was great. Looking here at the other characters, Will was probably my least favorite of the kids, but he was still a great character. Like his loyalty was wonderful. Like he really was one. Like he was a ride or die. Like he escaped a military base to help his friends. He's like, I don't care what you say. I'm gonna go make sure my friends are safe.
Yeah. And the thing about Will, I really like the character of Will, and I'll tell you why. Is he was kind of thrown into all of that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we just moved here. How are you doing, guys? Like, I want some friends. And it's like, that's the group you picked, and this is what happened.
Well, hey, like, I'm just saying, if he'd have listened to Rich when Rich told him you should probably run now, if he'd have listened to Rich, he wouldn't have been involved in any of it.
Yeah. I mean, he just new kid is hard enough at that age, right? The new kid is. Just ask the new kid from the Losers Club and the other one, the heavy kid. You know what I mean? Like being the new kid is tough enough as it is. And dude, the dynamic of these characters, especially when they were with each other, right? I thought that it was really good. I think the actors themselves had good charisma with each other. You believed that they were friends very much. At least I did. I felt like it was a great representation of the newer version, yet older, of the Losers Club. And the connections that were in there was just crazy, that we find out later on that we'll talk about. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, because one, I didn't see coming at all, which, some people say that they did. And I'll tell you why they said that they did. I did not. So there was a big, like, holy shit moment. for me. But yeah, dude, overall, I think you're pretty spot on. The kid that played Rich, fantastic job.
Arian.
Yeah, fantastic job. Like he did a these characters, Rich in particularly, was very good at making you care about the characters. And that's important to me for a good story. That's important to me to really like something. I think that's why excuse me. I think that's why I have issues with a lot of things, man, because I can watch a movie or a show, and there can be a whole bunch of badassery in that movie, like badass kills or badass effects, but if I don't care about the characters, man, like that all goes out the window for me. You know, like you don't get that feeling when they're being chased. You don't get that feeling when to me, this cast did a great job of not wanting to lose anyone whatsoever.
And you know, the way the show starts off, are we going to talk? This isn't even really a spoiler, I guess, but
yeah. And I mean, let's jump into it. We've been in 35 minutes. I'm going to give you guys a 10-second pause if you're watching right now. If you haven't seen this, but yet this is something that you want to see, now would be the time to go, because I want to jump into this. I want to be able to talk about Welcome to Derry without holding my tongue. It's been that's why I waited to do the show. You know, it's been a while. It's out there. So now would be the time to turn it off. And while people are doing that, while they're turning it off, I am going to go ahead and congratulate Sarah Campbell, who is in the chat, is now a member at Movies and Beyond for 23 months. Congratulations, Sarah. Thank you so much for being a channel member at Movies and Beyond. It means the world to me. And big congratulations on 23 months, because it looks like you are 1 month away from 2 freaking years, which is absolutely unbelievable, unfathomable for me that I've been doing this for 2 years. It's freaking crazy. And Eric, I also wanted to do a shameless plug before we jump into this as well. I just feel like, you know, I got to do it. But right now, if you are not currently a member Patreon, right now is the best time to do it, because it is only $1 a month over on Patreon. So if you would like to support Movies and Beyond outside of YouTube, you can do so over at patreon.com/Movies and Beyond. There's a whole bunch of other different shows over there. Currently, I am doing horror icon duels over there. There are 2 episodes out. There will be another episode next week. And I'm having a really good time with those things I can't really do on YouTube. I do on Patreon. I would love to do them for YouTube channel members, but it still falls under the same guidelines of YouTube, so I can't really do that. But if you would like to check it out, right now is the time. $1 a month over on Patreon. Now, Eric, my friend, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I was trying to bring that down. There it is. All right, dude, I went to close this down. I clicked on the comment section and then closed out the whole chat. Like, it just, you know, some days, there are some days where, Michael, it's just like, how do you even operate? I swear to God. But yeah, so spoiler time, Eric, you wanted to talk about the first episode. Let's go ahead and let's start there, because that was a huge WTF moment for me, to where it's like, okay, I'm getting to know these new people, and bam, you get the first episode. How did you feel about the first episode?
What you said, and what brought it to mind for me, is you said they do a good job of making you like the characters so much. You're like, I don't want to lose any of these people.
Yep.
The first episode, right? Obviously, you know, you're gonna have a wild opener, right?
Yep.
And you get that wild opener, and it's crazy, and you're like, what the hell's going on, right? And then you jump into it, and you're absolutely right. I don't want to see any of these characters go, and I'm like, I'm invested at this point. You spend the whole episode getting invested in these 5 characters.
Yeah, and they're telling a back, you know, they're giving them references and making you feel for them and all of that stuff too.
Exactly. And by the end of that episode, I'm like, cool. I can't wait to get to know this guy. He's a little nerdy, but he's also kind of like got a cool edge to him. Like, that dude's like a little outspoken. He's like the Richie of the group. Cool. Gone. 3 of the 5 are destroyed by the end of the episode. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And not only that, the most disturbing part is her holding the arm at the end, where you're just like, are you shitting me? Did that just happen?
You're seeing these, they're elementary school, like maybe first year of middle school at most. And then he's got his little sister with him. Little sister. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to kill this little girl. The only thing left of her by the end of it is her arm.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm like, what is happening right now?
Zero fucks given. They didn't care. They're like, you know what? We're going to shock everyone with the first episode. We're going to do that. Like,
and that's after we see a woman give birth to like a deformed demon bat.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy town. Like literally crazy town. And it's nothing what I expected. When I watch a first episode, it's like, okay, character building time, right? Like this is it. This is where you got to pay attention. You know, we got to learn who these people are, because I'm sure that it's gonna, you know, blossom into something else, right? So I want to pay attention to all the little details. And it's just like, when it's over, I just look aside and it's like, well, shit, I guess I'm going to be doing this in episode 2. You know what I mean? Like I had first episode, we're going to sit here and zero in, you know, Michael had the hat down. You know what I mean? Like I'm focused. And when it's over, I'm just like, you've got to be shitting me. You went this direction? This is crazy town.
Well, so that also is a really good thing, because what it does is now by the end of that, you're focused on Ronnie and Lily, because those are the only two to make it out alive, as the only two true main characters.
Right.
And it makes you uncertain and scared for every other character, because you're like, they could die.
Yeah,
like, we know we need these two for the story. Those no one else is safe.
But you don't even know that yet. They could die too, because apparently they're not afraid to wipe the slate clean and start over in this show. Like obviously not, right? So it's just like, that's how you build suspense. That's how you build that feeling of, oh shit, we may lose this person. You know, the plot armor was very weak. You know what I mean? After watching that first episode, it's just like, well, you might as well just throw that armor out the door, because everybody's not even wearing a shirt here, like whatsoever. There is no armor on these characters whatsoever.
No. It was, like I said, it did such a good job of making me worried, like legitimately worried for each character. I wasn't certain. I wasn't certain after that first episode of who was really going to make it to the end.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
That's a great thing. That's fantastic. Like it keeps you on your edge. It keeps you on the edge watching it the entire time.
Yep.
Michelle is saying, I was a little bored during the first episode, to be honest. So I'm so glad I gave it a chance, though, because it's so good. The intro is the best. And we didn't even talk about that, dude. You know, first time I hear the intro.
Can't.
Okay.
I can't, because I am a skip the intro kind of person. I have been told, because, and here's the thing. So the first episode doesn't have the intro. The first episode doesn't. The first episode just has like the little it rising out of the water or whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the actual intro. I started the intro in the second episode, but I'm like, Jesus, this is going on forever. And it goes on for like almost 2 minutes. The intro goes on for almost 2 minutes.
Put it this way, for me, the first time watching, I'm just kind of like, what is this? By the 8th episode, it comes on, I'm dancing in my living room. You know what I mean? Like it's something like, especially when you watch it live and you don't have that ability to skip it. Well, I guess you do. You do have the ability to skip it, but I didn't. You know, it's like they had a good build up and then it goes into the intro. And it's just like, I had a routine watching this show. I did. I did my Sunday show, and I knew once my Sunday show was over, it was time to make a snack, and I'm going to sit there and watch Welcome to Derry. So, you know, when there's a show on that you like so much, you hit play on it, and you let it play through, and I'm sitting there with like a ham sandwich in my mouth, fucking dancing to the fucking, you know, music by the 8th episode, you know, because I know that it's going down.
Did you notice the difference?
And
So I think it's Straw Hat Goofy, who's an Instagram account, a really good Instagram account who does like movie and TV and reviews and stuff. I think it was him. He was doing an interview with Andy Muschietti. Apparently, the intro changes and the music changes episode to episode to get a little bit more creepy. So apparently, if you compare like episode 2 and episode 8, it's episode 8, the intro is significantly creepier sounding because they make little changes with each episode to make it creepier.
To be honest, no, I didn't, because I think I was probably barely paying attention at the beginning, and by the end it was just like it was like me watching Stranger Things. When I loved it, I always let the intro play. I always did. So
I'm just like let's get to the story. But I've also heard that the imagery that you're seeing includes imagery from previous. And we're on the spoiler territory now, so I can jump into this plot point. As we know, Pennywise, and we know this from It actually, Pennywise resurfaces roughly every 27 years. And that's why this is when is this? This is 60s. 70s?
62, I want to say. Is it?
I know it probably is 62. Yeah, that would make sense because the next one is supposed to be 1935.
Okay.
And it's going backwards 27 years.
Okay.
And then before that, the next one after that was supposed to be like 1908. From what I understand, and I've told myself I'm going to go back and watch them because I got all the episodes digitally. I'm going to go back and watch it. But from what I understand, the imagery in the intros actually shows events from those previous Pennywise attacks from like
nice.
So I need to go rewatch it for that. But
I got to be honest with you. I think half the time I'm just like moving around while the intro's coming on, listening to the song. To be honest, I don't think that I sat there and zero laser focus to where if there was a small change, I would notice it. But that's going to come with rewatches as well, because I know I'm going to let it play. I miss it already. 100%. Let's see. FJE is saying, I love the balls they had to kill off the main characters. Like there were just zero shits given whatsoever. Zero shits given whatsoever. Russell said after the first episode, that's why Ronnie is the way that she is. And it's the same about Lily as well. Like,
but Lily was never Ronnie.
Well, she was never right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. Obviously, Ronnie's like she's a child. She was kind of a little bit of a bitch sometimes. Let's be honest. Some stuff did happen that would make you angry. She never stopped to consider Lily's position. Like Lily is being told all this stuff, and she's a kid. Like Lily's also a child. Like she doesn't control what the adults think and do. And Ronnie was so upset because of the stuff that was happening. And it's like Ronnie, if Ronnie should have been upset at anyone, it should have been Ronnie's dad. Because Ronnie's dad he had the ability to just say the truth and clear his name the whole time. Obviously, there would have been some negative side effects to that, but he had the.
I think that's putting it nicely, especially.
We see what happens at the end when they find him.
Yeah,
but. It didn't have to happen that way.
Yeah,
it didn't. It probably like I said, bad shit was going to happen either way.
Yeah,
and it's a terrible thing. He could have cleared the kids at least.
and he
didn't.
Russell is saying there were some gross scenes in the first episode. To say the least. And Michelle is saying again, this is the first time I didn't skip the intro, Eric. So this is her, breaking out. So where she's like, what?
Very slightly off topic. An intro I never skipped, and it's the only intro I've never skipped.
What's that?
Season 1 of Peacemaker with John Cena, because I love the song they play And like they literally choreographed a dance number just for the intro. And it's so hilarious, and the song is amazing. So that's the only one for this one. Like I said, this one I skipped it, bro. It's like, I want to say it's like 2.5 minutes of intro, and I'm like, let's just get to the show. Like,
I guess that would come with, you know, like binging, because when I binge, I skip, you know, because I'm not going to watch it, you know, 10 times in a day.
If I'm thinking about it, if it's 2.5 minutes, say it's 2 minutes, and I'm binging, you know, 10 episodes, that's 20 extra minutes just devoted to intro. And I'm like, I'm not about that. Like, because I'm not kidding. I binge watched all 8 episodes of this in one night.
Right. And it's, I think that has to do, because even when I would watch The Walking Dead, you know, when that was live, when the music would come on, I would get amped up, you know, and we're going back, you know, this isn't like The Walking Dead last week. This is Walking Dead, like, during its prime,
back when it was good,
you know, when it was actually still good, you know, like something would happen, then you'd hear that music, boom, you know what I mean, and it would come on, and it's just like in Game of Thrones as well, you know, with that one as well, week to week, you know, with Game of Thrones, and it was just like, I don't know, there's just something about, I am more so a binge watcher, but on those rare occasions when I do watch it week by week, like I did with Welcome to Derry, man, the intros always hype me up. They definitely do. Val is saying, I haven't what's up, Val? How you doing? She's saying, I haven't watched Welcome to Derry, but I had to stop by and hit that like button. Well, General, I know that you can't stay since you haven't seen it yet, but you know, you will always get the salute from Movies and Beyond. The General is in the building. What's up, Val? I hope you're doing well. You should check it out, though. Like, seriously, Michelle's like, go back and go watch it out. Yes, I guarantee that you are going to enjoy it. So good. Russell's throwing out Monarch Legacy of Monsters this next month. Oh, dude, I'm huge on it. I can't wait. I can
never watch it.
Wait. Oh, so good, dude. Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell are both in it.
You've mentioned it before. Like, you've mentioned very, very good things about it. But I'm going to be honest, and maybe it's because I haven't seeked it out. You're the only person I've ever heard talk about it. Like, if you hadn't mentioned it, I would not know it existed.
So,
like, legit.
I am huge on my dad and I used to watch, you know, dude, Godzilla to me. That's why I'm so excited about -0. Even when Kong's wearing a power glove, I'm going to go watch it and then bitch about it afterwards, of course, and probably bitch about it before I go in, but I'm still going to watch it, dude. Like, I don't know, something about Godzilla, dude, to where it's just like, he is the answer to every horror debate ever. Who do you think would win between
Godzilla?
Like Godzilla. He's like, I even saw a thing, and I'm thinking about doing it on Patreon. I haven't watched it yet, but it said Godzilla versus Vecna, and it just shows a bunch of the what are the things called with the mouth? The Demogorgons standing around just looking up. And it's just like, if you would ever want to see a Demogorgon shit itself, that's what it looks like in that picture. You know,
could you imagine Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult just starts playing? As it's walking out.
Crazy. Let's see. FJ is saying, I'm a little worried that Pennywise might get overdone. Dude, I think there's gonna be proper spacing between the seasons.
I am so happy that they brought this up, because now that we are talking about spoilers, half the season is gone by the time Pennywise actually shows up.
Yeah. Fair.
And like I said, you know he's going to be in it. We know he is. We also knew that because of, you know, the way the whole announcement went with Bill Skarsgård and everything, that he wasn't going to be the primary focus. I'm glad he wasn't. And even in those next few episodes, you don't see Pennywise that much.
Yeah.
Like, you see the Deadlights and you see other forms, but Pennywise the Dancing Clown is not that prevalent in the show.
Until he is.
That makes it better.
Yeah. It's that build up and that anticipation. So when he does, and he's on that pole going in circles, dude,
down with the cloud,
turn around. It's like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, here it is, man. This is the moment.
Okay, I gotta know, because it got me. Like, it wrote me in. I was like, maybe he did escape. Maybe he did. How did you believe at all that old boy had escaped and actually made it back?
0%.
You didn't
Because of
believe
the
it at
first
all.
episode, dude. The first, he's in the fucking car with that thing.
Yeah.
He never made it to the sewer.
I don't know that. I didn't see that.
If you watch that first episode, I'm pretty sure that he got smashed up against the inside of the fucking car, if not taken out the fucking window. That's the way I remember it. Now, like I said, that was how many months ago at this point that I've seen that episode. But when I saw that kid, I'm like, yeah, something's not right here, because that kid would have went somewhere else. Like, no way. That kid wanted out of town.
He did one out of, and like I said, I didn't fully believe it. Like I was on the low end, but I wasn't zero. And I didn't, like, I wanted to believe. Like, I wanted to be like, oh my God, he made it out. There's still hope. And I'm like, and I had that question too. I was like, he didn't want to go back to Derry, but then I'm like, the only people he knows are in Derry. And he was like, we can't go to the cops. So take me back to my dad. And it's like, he played it so well. Like, and he didn't want to go back to the sewers. And like I said, he played it off so well for me that I'm like, fuck, it could be real. It could be real. And then as soon as he's like, this isn't where I wanted to go. As soon as he got up on that pole, dude, I was like, fuck.
When he was on the screen in the theater, it was just like, no, he's dead. Like,
that was Pennywise. I didn't take that as him. I took that as Pennywise.
Right. It was Pennywise. Yes. But
yeah, but he could do that with other people. Like, he can do it with people who are still alive.
I don't know, dude.
Listen, I wanted to believe. All right. I wanted to believe.
All I'm saying is it didn't get me like that. I was just like, something's not right. Now, did I know for a fact it was Pennywise the whole time? Probably not. You know what I mean?
I knew something wasn't right. I'll agree with that 100%. I knew something wasn't right. I wanted to believe it was possible that was actually him.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, when Pennywise finally is fully formed and pops out that duck and cover kiddos.
Yeah,
bro, I lost it.
So freaking good, man. So freaking good. Now episode 2 and 3 for me, Eric, I wasn't buying it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had, like, if episode 2 for me was kind of really slow. And I understand that you have to have those moments. You have to have those moments to progress the story. Episode 3 to me, when they were in the graveyard and there were the things flying around them, it felt like, oh no, they're gonna make this like it almost looked like Nickelodeon Ghosts to me. You know, like it just, I just wasn't feeling it, man. It wasn't until episode 4 where I was just like, okay, all right, now we're rolling again. Now we're moving. That's how I felt on the initial watch. Now, granted, you know, I had to wait a week in between episodes. You know, I didn't binge them straight through. But how did you feel on your end with episode 2 and 3? Like, did you get that same feeling, or was it just, since it was all mashed together, it flowed pretty well for you?
So I looked at episode 2, and you brought this up earlier, and I think it's a great point. When you're watching the first episode of something, you are in that kind of exposition mode. You're not expecting a bunch of stuff to happen. You're expecting just to learn, like your base, like your starting point. So after seeing all the like catastrophic damage done at the end of episode 1, I was going into episode 2 like, okay, well, we have to meet new characters. So it was a little slower, but I feel like episode 2 is really where you're like, okay, now we're going to learn what characters we're following. And that's true. You get to see, you know, Ronnie starts worrying about her dad. The one thing I will say about episode 2, and it kind of is a something that happens in the show a lot, or not a lot, but with every time, we don't see any sort of reaction about these things happening. Like at the end of episode 1, you're in like a hellscape. Like these kids are traumatized for life from this. Like hell, the viewer is almost traumatized. Like it's so creepy. There's so many murders that happen. And then the start of episode 2, she just wakes up in bed, and like there's nothing, there's like no adults like, hey, you know, you saw this really bad thing that happened. the most reaction you get is cops stationed outside old boy's house waiting on him to slip up.
Yeah.
So that would be my one negative, is the lack of like reaction that comes with it from the adults. Now, one could attribute that to,
I think you're about to say what I'm about to say,
as being normal. Like the people are so, I don't even know what to say. What were you going to say? Because I don't know. I can't put it into words.
So with me, in those episodes, and I have a hard time distinguishing between the two, sequence of events. I have to go back and watch it. But you find out that, Will's mom, Charlotte, she starts to see the things in the town, right? The town is heavily influenced by Pennywise's presence. Like, it's almost like he has a grip on that town. Do you remember seeing the kids beating up that other kid and everybody just watching it happen?
Boys will be boys.
Right. So I feel like that attributes to that as well. You know what I mean? For the lack of empathy from the adults for things that happen. I feel like Pennywise has a grasp on that town. And if you were to look at, Derry as a picture, you just picture like Pennywise underneath it, like holding the whole thing like this, above his head. I just feel like Pennywise's influence, and you see that in It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 as well. He has a hold not just on, making the children disappear, but he's also a big influence on what happens in that town and how things happen. And she sees a little bit of that because she's just like, what the fuck is going on here? We just moved here and nobody gives a shit about this kid getting the hell kicked out of him right in front of the store with all these adults walking around.
Just walking by, just watching it happen. And this brings up another point, and it's a little off topic, but it is something that I didn't catch until after I finished watching it and was watching people's reviews and reactions. Stan the Butcher, Stanley Cleaver, as they call it, he was so nice to what's her name, Will's mom,
Charlotte.
He was so nice and pleasant to Charlotte. I didn't even pick up that that's the same guy who, he comes up to his wife while Lily's with it, and I forget the character's name. Lily, it's the only adult who actually seems like is interested in helping Lily. Obviously, we know toward the end that's old Periwinkle. I didn't realize that's the same guy.
Interesting.
He was so nice.
Right.
I bought into that pleasantry so much.
Yeah.
It didn't even occur to me that's the same guy.
It didn't register because of the difference. And
there was no like progression at all. And there was no, and once again, maybe it was the performance that I bought into so well, but he seemed like he said something like about, I forget the exact words, but basically like, I would remember someone like you and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, no, I just mean, I see the same people over and over. So I begin to recognize, like, I bought into it so well.
Yeah.
It didn't dawn on me that that's the same guy who's like, you better not overcook my steak like you did last time. Yeah. And the same guy who was at the terrible event in episode 7, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah.
It didn't even dawn on me.
Right. It's so good, dude. And you can attribute that back to, the first hit with Eddie, going into the pharmacy as a kid, the different encounters he had with the pharmacist. Some were okay, but, for the most part, if you're sticking with It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2, the guy was like a slime ball. He's a slime ball at one moment, it all links together on how this town is in Derry.
When Lily is going shopping and that dude keeps popping up behind her.
Yeah.
That is, Pennywise is scary, obviously.
Right.
That was creepy. That was creepy in a way that like unsettled me to my core. Cause I'm like, even if that's not Pennywise, it's not okay. Like it's isn't,
But yeah,
and we went. You mentioned earlier about like a Nickelodeon like kind of feel to the monster.
right.
When it gets to the pickle thing with her dad, I
Yeah.
got that vibe a little bit there.
Yeah, okay.
I
Yeah.
can see how to her devastating mentally, like
Right.
terrifying because of what had happened with her father.
Yeah.
But I got a little Nickelodeon vibe from that. Like that was more like not humorous, but it just wasn't scary for me. But the graveyard scene you brought up,
Yeah.
I kind of love that
Okay.
because they're like, I gotta realize, like, oh my god, why aren't you doing this? Like, I'm a fucking 35-year-old man. Like, of course I would do things differently because I've lived something. These are kids, like they don't know what to do. Of course, this kid's gonna be like, hey, I heard my uncle talk about this once. Maybe we could do that.
And
then,
that's fine. I was more a tribute to the ghosts and the way that they looked. It was almost like something from Scooby-Doo. Like that's how that made me feel with that. It was just different. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I fully accept why they were there and you know how they got there and all of that. Yes, that's fine. But it was just the look to them like floating around them on their bikes and stuff like that. Like it was just like like I just didn't,
did
you know.
call out, or did you guess what was going to happen with the photos?
No.
I knew. I called that one. I'm like, they're going to go and the photos are going to look completely different.
Oh, that yes. I thought you meant like when they took the photo inside, you could make out the clown in the one. You know, that
So
I didn't see.
love
coming.
that because
Yeah,
I'm like,
I did too.
oh, they call Pennywise cool. No, they didn't. They didn't.
Yeah,
bro, that was solid. That was solid. I love that.
Peter Anthony jumps in. He said this show was phenomenal. It not only had more Pennywise than show chapter 1 and chapter 2 combined, but he is better and more evil. The visual of him alone, bravo. Yeah, and we were talking about that earlier, Peter. It was freaking fucking fantastic. Michelle is saying I have to go at 10 as much as I love listening to the conversation between you two. Yeah, we're getting into it. Like Eric, we've been talking about this for an hour and it feels like 10 minutes. Like, and I've still got a whole lot left.
Yeah, like we've been talking for an hour and I'm like, we haven't touched on this. We haven't touched on this or this or this.
No, but I do want to. Like,
yeah.
Here's the thing, man. Like, we talked about, you know, how much the characters in this, they made us feel for them. We wanted them to win. 100%. And Russell did say, you know, about the ghost, it was more like Ghostbusters. Yes, that's very Ghostbuster-esque for sure. Someone else had brought up when I talked about it before a little bit in passing on one of my other shows that it felt kind of goosebumpish, which is another yes, yeah, it did. But Ghostbusters, it did look a lot like that. But we talked about how, you know, the love for the characters and everything, man. This show was not afraid to give us those devastating moments. You know, the moments that'll basically just rip your heart out. You know what I'm talking about. And there's two things I want to address in this episode. I think, was it 6 or 7 during the fire? Which one?
7
was that?
7 is the fire.
7 was the fire.
Yeah, at the end of 6, you see the cars pull up.
Okay.
7,
so
yeah.
Episode 7, there are 2 moments I want to talk about. First, I'll start with, you know, the moment that, you know, pretty much broke everyone's heart, you know, with Richie and Marge, right? I almost felt kind of like very sad, dude, like very heartbreaking. It was just like, you know, when you saw the Titanic for the first time and you were like, there's room on that door for Jack. Why don't you let him up there? You know what I mean? And it's not like he could have got in there with her, you know, and shut it down because he kind of had to hold it shut. You know what I mean? But it's just like, man, I understand you're being the protector. You know, I understood his story about, you know, the night and, you know, all of that stuff. But it's just like, damn it, man. Could you have not tried to fit before you realized it wouldn't work? And yeah, I mean, dude, absolutely great point in the story. You know, they tugged at the heartstrings. The mission accomplished, right? You broke me. Okay. You actually broke me.
I was more angry during that than I think I've ever been for any movie ever.
Yeah.
Because it's not even Pennywise. That's the thing. No, it's not.
So I'm gonna let you finish, and then I do have
It's
have
not.
something to
It's
say.
not even Pennywise. It's the ignorance and racism and intolerance of humans. That's what it is.
Humans in Derry, but you know,
Here's the thing. You think this didn't happen in real life?
fair.
That's
Fair.
the thing. And that's why I didn't even add that distinction, because this isn't entirely fiction. This stuff happened in real life.
It did.
So it is it made me so upset. And that's what it was supposed to do. That's what it was supposed to do. If you walked away from that just being like, oh, well, it's a Pennywise thing, what are you going to do? You kind of missed the point. These were people out having fun and not even trying to get any sort of political at all, but just what we saw on screen. These were guys out, military service members who weren't even accepted in the town they were serving. So they had to go to this backwoods place that they made their own. And just trying to have a good time and blow off some steam. Now, we know it was a setup by Periwinkle that Ronnie's dad was there.
Right.
We know the whole thing was a setup that she made to ensure it happened. But it was mob mentality. It was racism and complete just disregard for human life, because they knew there were kids in there.
Right.
They saw there were children in there.
Yep.
And they still did this, and that's why Rich died. And I don't think he would have fit. I think he knew he wasn't gonna fit. I will say, what got me more and what made me think it was more of a waste than him not trying to fit is that the roof didn't even fall.
Right. But with fire comes smoke. With smoke comes suffocation.
Smoke inhalation,
you know?
is what he died of.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing about it too is, let's not forget, during that fire, Pennywise is walking around through the whole thing. You know, he's in there, he's laughing at what's happening. You know what I mean? Because that's the chaos. Now, my question for you was, he could have ate Richie right then and there. You know, he could have taken Richie right off of that thing and just ate him right in the middle of that fire, but he didn't. Right?
Richie wasn't scared.
Richie was not afraid at that point.
Yeah, so, Richie accepted. And here's the thing.
More than likely for Pennywise, he's going to taste like 3-day-old chicken nuggets that have been sitting on the counter.
And
right?
That's the thing. Like, you don't have to be scared of Pennywise for him to eat you. That's not like, he refers to it as seasoning your meat.
Right.
So he can do it without you being scared, but being scared makes you taste better. And they even go over this about like human emotions making you secrete different chemicals in your blood, which would make you taste and smell different. So, but Richie, I don't think he was interested in Richie. Like, he never, think about it. He went after Marge directly. He went after Lily directly.
Yeah.
Ronnie directly. He never went after Richie directly that I can remember.
I'll have to go back and watch it again. For sure.
Yeah. He never went after Rich directly. Oh, and he went after Mike directly. So
Michelle is saying, then he ate the abusive jerk outside.
So that, bro, when that douchebag racist asshole is talking down to his wife, and you just see her go, "Hello, Papa." Bro, I have never cheered more for Pennywise in my life.
That is the segue into my next moment for this episode. It definitely is the segue. That moment between her and Pennywise, where she's like, "You're not my dad."
Yes,
and he stops, like, he hugs her and everything, you know, to the best of Pennywise's ability to, you know, drooling and everything, right? He knows that she's bringing him food, right? It's like Christine and what's his name?
Arnie.
Arnie. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a Christine and Arnie type of deal, right? But she realizes you're not my father, and he stops, and he gives that turn. It's so
No,
good.
so that's not where the turn comes in. Actually,
Okay.
the turn comes in because he says, "I'm gonna go sleep," and then she grabs his arm and she says, "You can't abandon me," and that's when he turns and gives that look, and then she says, "You're not my father."
Right. And what did you do with my father? And the way that his mouth is drooling, and he's just like, I ate him, in that voice that only Bill Skarsgård can do. It's so good. And just the look, like that's one of my favorite looks of Pennywise, right? I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, dude, there's a ton of them but man, like I felt that. You know what I mean? Like we knew what happened. Like we knew what happened, but her realizing at that moment, dressed up like the way that she is, you know what I mean? Like all that coming, her realization, because you have to think about that. Pennywise looks exactly like someone that you loved unconditionally. You're going to go above and beyond to believe more because of the way that person is. I mean, picture your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, anybody that, raised you as a kid looking like you're going to go out and believe more because, her trauma from him leaving her. Right.
And we haven't even gotten into the backstory of Pennywise and Periwinkle.
Yeah.
Like we haven't even gotten there yet. So it's like there really is so much more to it.
Yeah. There's just so much in that, man. Like so freaking much. And that's just another part of that episode that was so good that I had to mention. That was just,
and she brings
fantastic.
it up to Lily and it's one of those things because in your head you're like, I know this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't completely disagree with her because when Lily sneaks up or doesn't sneak, she just kind of walks in and she goes up to the attic. Ingrid, which by the way is her name. It's not Periwinkle is obviously the character, but Ingrid is the actual character. Ingrid's like, if you could bring your father back, wouldn't you do anything possible to see him again?
Yeah.
And you're like, gosh, she's crazy, but I don't disagree with that. Like, obviously she's taking it to an extreme. Like, I agree with the motive. I don't agree with the action,
Yeah.
So, and that's what makes it, I think makes it a little better, is because you're like, I don't completely disagree with her.
And then, comes the reveal of Ingrid's last name, which if you're a fan of it, you immediately recognize as Kirsch, right?
Ingrid Kirsch.
And it's just like, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? And then you immediately think of Beverly Marsh, right? You immediately think of her looking at the mail, the list of people in the apartment buildings where she sees Marsh first, rings the bell. Ingrid answers, right? And then she looks back and it says Kirsch. And she's like, oh shit. I thought that said Marsh. So it's just like, aha, like another, reference to the movie.
Well, there's actually even more of a reference to the movie in this episode. It might be one that took the sheriff who gets like
Shaw
fired. No, Bowers.
Oh yeah, Bowers. Yes.
Sheriff Bowers, who ignites this whole thing. He knows where the guy is being held at the black spot.
Yep.
And he takes him out. That's the grandfather of Henry Bowers.
Yep. And dude, it's just like, how many people in this show are connected? Like, it's literally like,
it's not even the best connection. The best connection comes in episode 8.
Yeah.
When you finally find out the last name. And that's the one I think you were talking about earlier where people saw it coming.
I did not.
So I didn't either because I didn't know what I didn't remember Richie's mom's name.
Her first name, I don't think I ever knew her first name.
And yeah, so it's like, what's going on here? Like,
the thing that people were saying, online, I knew it was her. I knew she was Richie's, spoiler alert, right? I knew it was Richie's mom because of her glasses. And I'm just like, that's a stretch. You know what I mean? Like, I almost wanted to comment on that post and be like, man, shut the fuck up.
Well, so
you know what I mean?
I just heard people know, apparently they know because her name's Margaret and everyone. I didn't see a lot of people who said they knew. They said they suspected that it was Marge.
Right.
Like Margaret ends up being Marge. And that scene, the reveal of that scene.
When he says Tozier, that's when I was like,
Margaret Tozier.
Shit. Like, shit.
Not yet.
Right.
And it's so perfect because once he shows that missing poster, he wads it up and throws it. And then in it, he finds a wadded up, like Richie finds a wadded up missing poster with his own face in it.
Yeah.
Bro, when that happens, first comes love, then comes marriage. Bro, I was so like, I didn't see it coming. I'm so glad I didn't look up anything about this before I watched it. And the way it unfolded, and then that the kind of semi reveal of time, yesterday and tomorrow, it's all the same to little Pennywise. Like that was like, oh, so
that changed the game. That changed the game for Pennywise.
And then Marge even says it at the end, like, what if he goes back and tries to kill to stop us before we're even born?
Something else he said that you didn't mention. He said, him and his loser friends are the ones that kill me.
They bring me my death.
Or was it my birth? He says that. And
does
then
he say, or was it my birth?
Yes, he does.
I don't even remember him saying, or was it my birth?
That's why when we were saying Sunday night, when we were having horror battles and people were saying, I forget who he was up against with Pennywise, they're like, oh, Pennywise is toast. And I'm like, but first of all, because some people hadn't seen Welcome to Derry, and it's just like, and it was because of that line. He says, or was it my birth? And it's just like, holy shit. Like, what do you do with that? Right? Is it a timeless loop that you
stress out? That's what you do with it. You stress the fuck out.
Climbing through the hole and going after Eddie or Richie, and then going back in the hole and chasing Will. Like, it's so much. And people dismiss things, right? But when you pay attention to the details like that, it can be one word that can change your mind about a lot of different things. And to me, it's just like, holy fucking shit. Because which was it? And he was just like, or my birth, it's just like, all right, I've already lived that. Before it was like, oh, he can predict what's going. No, he's already lived that. That's what that told me. Michelle is saying, everyone have a good night, everyone. Thanks. Of course, Michelle. I'll talk to you later on. Have a good night. Dude, that brings so much more to the table. I want you to go back and watch that scene, Eric.
I was about to say, I legit don't remember him saying, or was it my birth?
Yes, he does. So go back and watch that, and then tell me how it changes it just changed it for me. That's why I said, on Sunday night when I was talking about this, you can't dismiss that, because it's like, he's more than what we thought.
Well, and here's the thing, like, I never considered Pennywise actually dead after It Chapter 2. Because Pennywise is, he is what did he say when he snapped out of the, I'm Pennywise, I'm the eater of worlds.
Yeah.
Like, he's not getting put down by the losers club. Like,
Yeah.
he's not. Like,
He's not going to get bullied into death.
That maybe that might be the end of his cycle. Like,
Right.
his 27 years. He's coming back. Like, there's no way he's not coming back in my view. So, like, and just like this, like, we see when they plant that little piece of that the asteroid that it came down on, he doesn't die. Like, we know he's not gone. Like,
Right.
he's gone right now, but we know he's coming back. So I never have considered Pennywise truly defeated. I just think it's a waiting game.
For some reason, I just picture Peter Griffin like, now we play the waiting game. Oh, it's such a terrible fucking.
You know what it made me think of? Did you see the end of Jeepers Creepers 2? When he's sitting, like, the kids are like looking at the things like, what are you waiting on? About 2 weeks now.
Yeah, and they've got that big freaking spear thing.
He's sitting there with a spear gun, like, you're like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, and I don't know. I hate that it doesn't show like actual like the names anymore. That most recent comment about the creeper returns every 23 years. It's like, yep,
Patrick. What's up, Patrick? I hope you're doing well.
yeah,
buddy. Good to see you.
like that. Like, that's what it made me think of. Like, just sitting there waiting on him to come back, because we've proven now. And the thing is, and I like that they have this. They already have a built-in plot device that when you leave Derry, you forget.
Yeah.
So most of the people leave, so they can't help remember everything.
Right. Did Marge stay? I forget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how did she not know about Richie? You know, like when Richie was going to go through it. Like that's the only
something I need to watch.
That's the only thing with me to where it's like, hey, I know Richie has to do this, but she is basically not present, you know, for the It movies.
And here's the thing. She may not know. And it's one of the reasons, like I said, it makes me want to rewatch It. I don't know that she knows he's going through it.
Fair. I mean, she can't forget because she named her son Richie. You know what I mean? And she didn't have her kid 5 minutes after this happened, right?
No, she had him 20-something years later.
And it's like, okay, so what would you say that the kids were in It? Maybe 12, roughly?
Yeah, something around there.
Okay, so they were.
If you've read the books, you want it to be older,
right? So you say it probably happens about what 13 years after that she, you know, that she
know about the scene I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I didn't know if that joke landed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how old the cycle starts in 27 years. So,
right.
and let's say he's 12. Let's say Richie's 12 at the beginning of It chapter 1. She's 12. Let's say she's 12 or 13 now, and at the end of Welcome to Derry.
Right.
So if that would need, and it's 27 years later, so that would give her 15 years from that, which would make her 26 or 27 when she gave birth, which is, call that good. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
it
that
evens
timeline
out.
works
Like
out.
It works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I have to bring this up, Eric, because we are at the hour and a half mark. The moment of the show in my mind, you know, the moment when, you know, the spirit guide or what he was steps out, you know, he steps out from behind the girl, and
so
she says, "What do you see?" You know, it's Dick Halloran, you know, and he's standing there, and the look on his face, dude, and he says, "A motherfucking miracle."
Before we reveal that, I want to say that we also saw, so that's the chief, right? That's the chief of the tribe that initially set up the cage, the containment.
Right,
system.
but he's since passed on, and he's now like a spirit guide, right?
Yeah.
So,
but what I didn't want to. I didn't want to gloss past them because obviously we know we're so much more excited about what comes next. But they also, if I remember correctly, helped out in the fire. I think they directed Dick to where he could bust through the floor.
100%.
And
he's the only one that can see them because they are on the spirit side, right?
And then at the end, or after the fire, Dick's like, I think I can help find one of those. I forget what they call them, but one of the pieces of the containment
system. Shard, basically.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, one of those shards. And he says, I'll just follow her.
Yeah.
I think the chief was actually a woman, but
yes,
I'll just follow her. So she helps out the whole time. Like, and I want to say, like, she's there, and I love that at first you just see that silhouette because you're like, oh, she's here too. She's gonna help out.
Yeah.
But then, bro, I literally just felt goosebumps pop up on my arm.
Richie steps out and he goes
from
running
behind
to help his friends. Right. And it is a moment. Like I feel it now, like getting that like emotional feeling.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know if you can see it. I legit have goosebumps.
And I mean, with him, when he goes kind of running in slow motion, you know, it shows him running. You notice he's got the slingshot in his back pocket still. You know, it's Richie. And in typical Richie fashion, what does he do running by Pennywise? You see him. He's on mark. But I'm not going to let this go past, and I'm going to throw out that fucking middle finger. And I think that was the moment that this show, because it'd taken me everywhere, right? There was horror, you know, there was gore, you know, there was a lot of different things. There was sadness, and then they brought that moment at the end for you to cheer. So this show, and I think that, you know, all the actors and actresses in this movie were fantastic to me. That roller coaster of emotions, you know, to pull you in and to give you that moment that your team's about to score the winning touchdown, because that's what it was, got you off of your seat and you're yelling at the screen, go, go, go. And then he flips that bird and you're like, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
And
man.
He slides in. Like, he slides. You want to know the craziest part about this right now to me? And it's a realization that it's an hour and 32 minutes. We haven't even talked about who is the real villain of the show.
Tell me.
General Shaw?
100%.
General Shaw is the real. We haven't even talked about the military's plan and how everything works together. Like,
but here's the thing with Shaw. Like, that whole deal, it's like, if that goes through the way you want it to, it's not going to work out well for you.
No, and that's, you love that.
I don't see how he doesn't see that happening. Because when he finally face to faces with Pennywise, exactly what you thought was going to happen happened. You know, like, what did you think was going to happen?
Well,
like,
so I actually love that, because while on like, to a common sense person, and this is what I mean by we haven't talked about the plan. Basically, should we lay that out really quick? Like, what Shaw's plan was?
It's ridiculous.
The military's plan is, and we didn't even get into Rose or really the way this all came about. Essentially, the comet that Pennywise arrived on Earth with, it contains him. So this tribe of indigenous peoples break it up into 13 pieces?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was 13.
No, they break it up into 14 pieces, and 13 of them are stabbed in the ground or buried in the ground in a concentric circle to contain Pennywise. He cannot go out. Yeah, to go outside of it. And they keep the 4th as a weapon, or the 14th as a weapon. Well, what Shaw is the general overseeing this military operation in Derry, using Dick Halloran and his abilities to find these shards, because what he initially says is his goal is to shrink the cage so that Pennywise has less space to go out and kill people. But then it kind of evolves into, well, he's going to make the cage mobile so that he can deploy Pennywise onto enemy territory.
And I
then he
think
could
that
just,
that was his plan the entire time. It's just he was coming out saying, "This is what I'm gonna do." You
well,
know,
it
where
wasn't, no, by the end of it, it wasn't to contain him at all. It was
right,
to release him to
but
the
I think
world.
that was his plan the entire time. It's just he was saying, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
that
yeah.
we're gonna, yeah,
Oh,
like he was
yeah,
lying. His plan the
he
entire time was to use Pennywise as a weapon, and it's like fucking saying, "Hey, I'm gonna put Jason Voorhees on a leash and walk him around." You've lost your damn mind, son.
yeah, it's, and that's exactly, common sense wise, we say that that would never happen. But you got to think, this is someone who's gotten to the, like, one of the highest levels you can reach in the military.
Yeah.
Flying too close to the sun. They believe, I legitimately believe people who get that high ranking in the military have
Right.
some sort of power hungry, like, imbalance in their head to believe that they can truly run the world.
Yeah.
And I think he legitimately thought he was just going to he tells Pennywise, "You're free to go."
Yeah.
Like, bitch, you don't need your permission. And it's up until this point, and it took me a second because I forgot. Up until this point, I was under the impression, like, he hasn't been face to face with Pennywise. He doesn't know what he's dealing with.
Well, he has, and I don't think that he knew.
And see, that's the thing. I remembered after that, I was like, no, he did see Pennywise as a kid, but Pennywise didn't take the form of the dancing clown. He took the form of that, one-eyed man or the eyeless or whatever from the circus. So, but we knew what was going to happen. As soon as Pennywise takes like 2 steps, and you just see him like, I know that smell.
Yep.
And then immediately it's gone.
Yeah.
He's just ripped in, and that's what I love is there's almost no, and you know why he ate him, because as much as Shaw wanted to say he was in control and he wasn't scared, he was terrified.
Well, once he changed shape into what truly scared Shaw as a kid,
when he did the thing, and then it came,
you fucking just dump marinade on him now, with the fucking pepper shaker. Like it's going down. Like, because
dude, it was good.
You're looking back at childhood fear, which is different than being scared to do something now. So that's like he was done. He was absolutely done for.
And his character, Shaw, was, and he was played wonderfully.
Oh, definitely, dude. I mean, James Remar is fantastic. I mean, he was Dexter's dad, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he was, and he's played wonderfully, but it was one of those characters where, I don't know about you, but I knew there was something up the entire time, because at first he's like, oh yeah, well, this happened. Well, no, we kind of lied, but this is why we lied. And it's like, no, well, that was a lie, but this is why. And it's like, I knew there was something up with him the whole time. Didn't truly know what was going to happen. But back to the plan. His plan is to destroy one of the shards so that Pennywise is freed.
Yeah.
And just can go out into the world. And when he does it, what's the first thing we see roll in? The Mist.
Yep.
Another Stephen King book. We see this mist roll in, and you're like, oh, it's going down now. And he successfully burns one of the shards, like melts it down, so it's gone.
Yeah.
And obviously we get to the point where the kids have to go bury that 14th shard to replace number 13 that's gone. And bro, the climax of this is legendary.
Shaw had definitely gone a different direction than, the boy that was playing with Rose that we saw, in the flashback. You know what I mean? Like, I think those two characters, like, I wanted those two characters to be, I wanted her to be his redemption.
I love Rose, man.
Yeah, I did too. Absolutely love Rose. And I there's just something in me that wanted her to be his redemption. And for him to realize how crazy that was. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all.
Nope.
Because it absolutely crazy, man. Like, this show, like, it's so complex, but yet so simple. Everything flows so seamlessly. you know, and we really didn't even talk about Will's father, you know,
Leroy.
Leroy Hamlin, you know, like, which another connection to Mike Hanlon, right? So
That's his
there's that,
grandfather.
you know, like, no, Mike Hanlon is his grandson. It's Will's son, right? Because you got to think, watch the first It. Mike Hanlon's working on the farm.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay. So who's the kid in it? One is that Mike or is that
That's Mike.
Mike isn't Will's son? Mike is Will's grandson, right?
No, 62, and then they're in the 80s. No, Mike Hanlon's going to be the same age as Richie.
I
Right?
know, but I thought
So
it had been.
that puts Will the same age as Marge. So Mike Hanlon, in turn, should be Will's son.
Okay, well that sucks because that means we know what happens after this.
Yeah, we do, to Will.
Because I was about to say
Right.
we know what happens to Will. Oh,
But
that
we
sucks.
also know that they weren't crackheads. We know Will wasn't a crackhead, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in
He's not.
It, they're like, the crackheads burnt, you know? And it's just like,
They burn up in that house fire.
yeah. So that's what happens. But yeah, man, I mean, it has to be Will's son. Like, they never came out and said that this was
it
Will's
is.
son.
I just looked it up. William, like Mike
Yeah.
Hanlon's parents are William Hanlon, tragically died in a house fire when Mike was a child.
Yeah, because if you remember, Mike's uncle is working on the farm now, the farm that they got from Rose, right? So the Hanlons took over the farm because she's like, "Hey, I need you guys to take this over. You guys would be perfect for it," and they accepted.
To make sure your friends never come back, because that's the thing. We do see that Leroy gets discharged from the Air Force.
Yeah.
Basically they're like, hey, don't tell any of the nefarious shit we did and we'll let you walk away, you know, scot-free.
Right.
And then obviously by the end of it we see that Dick Halloran has gotten some closure with another scene that rips your heart out.
Yeah, the funeral scene.
Yeah, so we see Dick Halloran rocking up to a funeral, and I'm not even gonna lie. At first glance, I didn't notice it, because we see a couple of different shots of the crowd in the funeral. We're at Richie's funeral.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna leave this spoiler out. I'm just gonna say we're at Richie's funeral, and it's a tearjerker, and Dick Halloran is one of the times we see Dick Halloran where we're like, that's the guy who grows up to be the one that helps people like I know. And we do see him after that say his buddy has a hotel and is giving him the job as the cook. Yeah. And then Leroy says something along the lines of, you know, if you ever get into anything, you know, and you need help, let me know. He says, how much trouble can a hotel be?
Right. Yeah, 100%.
And you just oh, dude, it's so good.
It's freaking fantastic, man. And that's the thing. Like, I didn't want to not talk about this show on this channel. You know, like, it's not really my style to do a play-by-play. You know, like, I just watched Welcome to Derry Part 1 and it was great. You know, it's kind of not really, you know, what I do. But, you know, there has been a lot of thought in my head to say, you know what, and maybe I'll do it for Patreon, where I can actually show more on the screen. I may go back and do a rewatch.
I was thinking like I would love to do like a watch along of every episode, and then like a 5-10 minute after, like thoughts.
Yeah, maybe we could do that, man. I think that would definitely be fun to do. But I am going to be watching a show for the first time over there. I have yet to see Alien Earth, so I will be over there.
I only watched episode 1 of that.
I have seen absolutely nothing. I know nothing. I just know that I love Alien.
I don't know anything past episode 1, and episode 1 was one of those. I'm going to be honest; it didn't grab me.
Right.
Like, it did not grab me, and it left me with questions And once again, I'm not trying to discourage you at all. Obviously, watch it. You'll probably love it. I haven't heard anything negative about it.
Right.
But episode 1, by the end of the episode, my feeling was I have questions.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to watch to get the answers.
I got you.
And
Well, dude,
that's
I'm
the
gonna
feeling I
watch.
had.
I'm gonna watch anything Alien, whether I like it or not, and I'll
And it's
either
got
love it or
Timothy
trash it.
Oliphant in it.
Yeah,
it's got Timothy Oliphant, so you know it's going to be at least partially good.
Yeah, so I am definitely gonna watch that. But yeah, man, a rewatch of this show would be great. You know, it is different when you binge it versus watching it week to week because of the amount of time in between. But this one stuck with me a lot and made me remember, you know, a lot of things. I thought today, I was like, you know what I might do is I might go back and, you know, watch some recaps on some episodes. And I didn't even have to do that. You know, like time got away from me today and I was just like, oh shit, you know, I've got to do my show here in about 30 minutes. So, and then I had a phone call. So it was just like, okay, well, you know, I'll go in with what I remember. And dude, it's like, you know, there's a lot. You know, and I'm sure that there's even more because I feel like when you see something for a second time, you see little things that you've missed. You know, I feel like you
definitely do.
100%. And it's just like, especially knowing the outcome of what's going to happen. You know, you see little things that are like signs for, you know, this is going to show up or this is going to show up. And it's just really great, man. And I can't wait to rewatch this show.
And that's like, well, for me, like I didn't rewatch or do like recaps. I love watching reaction videos, especially if it's something I've already watched, because I know when those punchy moments are going to be, when that action is going to hit, it's going to make people like get excited, or when that scare is coming. And rewatching or watching reactions to this, that's how I learned about the butcher guy.
Yeah.
Stanley. I was like, oh, that's how I learned about it.
I'm very picky and choosy on who I watch reactions from, because if I go on YouTube and I see a 40-year-old man, like I'm about to watch Rocky for the first time, I'm like, bullshit. Everybody's seen fucking Rocky. Don't sit here and lie to me and act like this is brand new. You're fucking.
You know what? You want to know what like a specific moment of reaction videos that like kind of healed a little bit of like inner children? Watching older guys like those 40, maybe 50-year-olds watching Mandalorian, the episode when Luke shows up,
fucking cries, tears,
bro, tears. Yeah. Like you could see the children in these people show up, and like you could see how beautiful it was that they're getting to experience something for the first time that they didn't know they ever needed.
I was a mess when that happened, dude. Like,
dude,
literal mess. Like, fucking cry. I think I might even had a snot bubble. Like, it was just fucking. Like, to me, it was so much more than it just being Luke. It was redemption for episode 8 Star Wars, where he drinks the milk and fucking won't help save Han and or Leia or save Leia. Like, it was so he got his Rogue One Vader moment, right? He did. He went through and just destroyed freaking everything. But yeah, dude, I was a sniffling mess. The X-Wing shows up and they're like, one X-Wing, and I'm like, no. I'm looking for R2 in the back of it, you know what I mean? And it just shows a cloak walking by, and then I'm thinking, there's no fucking way they're doing this. There's no fucking way.
And they did.
Then you see the green lightsaber, and you're just like, please don't fuck with me. Please don't do. You see the glove on the hand, and you're just like, please don't do this to me. And you know, he gets up there, and it's just like, it's fucking Luke, dude. You just brought back my childhood in the most badass way fucking possible. And you got Mark Hamill to do it. And yeah, the deep fake was a little off, but it didn't matter. The voice was dead on, dude. And it was just like, and then R2 comes fucking beeping in, and it's just like, you gotta be shitting me, bro. Like, this is really happening right now. A mess. Total mess, dude. And then I'm thinking, like, is he gonna meet Ahsoka? Am I gonna see Luke Skywalker talk to, Anakin's Padawan. Like, it's so much going through my fucking head.
And that's another one I love watching reactions to, is when Ahsoka, when you see Ahsoka and Anakin training together, and you see her, like, you see Anakin walking, like, every time the lightning hits, you see his silhouette turn to Darth Vader.
Dude,
That was another one.
That might have been my favorite. The Luke. God, we got on Star Wars real quick.
Yes.
The Luke Skywalker showing up in the Mandalorian and Ahsoka battling Anakin and them going through the Clone Wars together. And seeing the Clone Wars in live action, to me, was probably my two favorite moments in modern Star Wars era of Disney Lucasfilms. Better than anything that was in any of the movies that Disney did. Those two moments to me were just absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe they did it.
What I was going to say, and to bring this back to Welcome to Derry, is watching the reactions, people's reactions to episode 7 and episode 8 of Welcome to Derry. You have all of that because you have the devastation from episode 7.
Yeah.
With the fire and the anger and the sadness with Richie.
Mm.
And then episode 8. And like the complete and total shock of them actually succeeding. The mist is rolling in. But then seeing Rich show back up. Like, love it. Love those reaction moments. But
yeah, like I like there's a couple reaction people that a lot for horror. Like there's one group in particular, they work with the Real Rejects.
I love Real Rejects.
So they like, I don't watch their whole thing per se. But like they're, because they have like 50 people working for them, right? But there were two females, and I can't remember their names, that did a lot of horror watch alongs for the first time.
Roxy, I think, is one of them. Roxy Stryer.
I don't like, you could say their names and I'm not going to remember. And you could tell that they'd never seen the horror because their takes were so off the wall and a lot of times just wrong. And they couldn't even pronounce Kane Hodder's name right. They kept calling him Hodor. And I'm just like, okay, they're legit. They've never seen any of these fucking movies, whatsoever. And I'll watch stuff like that. But to watch someone act like they're surprised to see something for the first time, it's just like 9 times out of 10, it's so obvious. Like I said, you got a 50-year-old man like, I'm about to watch Rocky for the first time. And I'm just like, yeah, fucking bullshit. I'm not even watching. I'm calling this bullshit card. There's no fucking way you're watching Rocky for the first time. That was the theme of our childhood. And there's no way you could have grown up in the fucking 80s and not seen Rocky. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Now, if you've got a 19-year-old kid watching fucking Rocky for the first time, okay, I get it, right? I do. But when I'm sitting here watching the screen and you're over there looking like me, like, oh, dude, fucking Rocky. I've never seen that before. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't buy it, buddy. I don't buy it whatsoever. But yeah, man,
that's fair.
Yeah, it is fair, dude. Overall, dude, out of 10 stars, what do you give Welcome to Derry? Like, where are you at with this?
I would give it probably a 9.5.
I was gonna say 9 out of 10. Fantastic, absolutely.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And the only, like I said, the half is definitely debatable for me.
Yeah.
And because you had a good point. The only reason the half is there is for the non-reaction that we see from these devastating events.
Yeah.
But that's debatable. So that's why the half is there.
Me, I just don't know what a perfect 10 looks like in my own brain. So I'll go 9 out of 10. I just don't, man. Like, I don't know if I've ever given anything 10 out of a 10. 10 out of 10.
So a question, and this isn't challenging at all. It's just not trying to challenge you. Just a legitimate question. What is, so since it's not, you're not saying it's 10 out of 10, and I completely understand that. If you could improve on anything in the show, what do you think you would have done different?
Oh, wow, man. That's a loaded question.
To make it a 10 out of 10. Like what could they have done for you?
It's hard for me to even know. Like I said, I don't really know what a 10 looks like for me. I don't. Like I don't know, dude. I honestly don't. And I'm not gonna sit here and talk around the question. Like I have an idea because I don't. That'll definitely have to be something I'd have to get back on you on because I honestly do not know what they could have done different for me to say, yes, this is now a 10. Because everything that I've ever loved, my favorite movie of all time is Superman 1978. It always will be. Is it the best movie?
It's not
Is it the
Superman
best?
2025.
No. Is it the best movie of all time? No, it's not. But it is my favorite movie of all time. And I give that 9 out of 10, like 9.5 out of 10. Just because, like I said, I don't really know if I've ever seen a perfect movie, or a perfect show to where I said, you know what, that is perfect. And I feel like the day I see that is the day I'm just done. You know what I mean? Like it's
Like,
just the day
there's
that I'm
no
fucking
reason
done.
to watch anything else
Hey,
anymore ever.
like
because
I have seen the mountaintop and it was good. You know
and
what I
it's
mean?
good. I have seen the top of the mountain, and it is good.
That was fucking Beavis and Butthead, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I've seen the top of the mountain,
Top of the
Beavis,
mountain.
and it is
and
good.
it is good.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like I hate to. Jerry says, "Have you not seen Wrong Turn?" I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Hey, that's not a 10 out of 10. How dare that's an 11 out of 10. All right.
Anytime someone says like 10, it just makes me think of fucking Billy Bob
Billy
from
Bob,
Varsity
a
Blues.
10, a 10,
a 10, a fucking
a
10.
fucking 10.
Yeah, like it's. If I ever see that movie, I guarantee I will put that up, front. Like it's just a 10, a 10.
I'm pretty sure on one of our podcast episodes we did 10 out of 10 movies.
10 out of 10 movies. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we did that. We did that on one of our episodes.
I'll have to go back and look and see what I said because, looking at it now, I don't think that I've ever given anything a perfect 10. And if I have, I was probably rounding up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say,
I was being generous.
This is my top 9.75. You know what I mean? Like, round that up to a 10. But yeah, man, like, to me, a 10 out of 10 is fucking perfection. And I don't really know if I've ever seen anything to where I said, you know what, that was absolutely fucking perfect. For sure. But dude, this was fun to actually sit here and just have a conversation for 2 hours about a show that we both enjoyed. To me, this was absolutely, it was a blast, dude. It just felt like a conversation and the time went by so damn fast doing this.
You're absolutely right, and I'm gonna say, and this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt for me to say, and it's gonna hurt for people who watch this to listen to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think and I think it's why the podcast, I enjoyed doing it in such a different way when we did it.
Yeah.
Is we recorded that without any chat. So
No.
it was literally just a conversation.
Right.
And as much as I love the interaction with the chat, sometimes I think it breaks it up too much to where the flow of a conversation gets interrupted. Like as soon as you get on the flow, you have to interrupt. And I understand keeping them involved because that's, they're here to support, they're here to watch, they're here to be involved. Yeah. I think sometimes, like every so often, because this is the first time we've done this since the podcast, so like a year, where there wasn't too much chat involvement. It was literally like, hey, let's just talk about this. I think this was awesome, dude. Like having a conversation back and forth. And then going to the chat for a section.
I think that my favorite time ever, my favorite moment for myself of that podcast that we did was probably my reveal of Dr. Evil in our top 5 villains of all time. And I still to this day, like I got the shock in your voice when I said Dr. Evil. Was just like, because I'm pretty sure I asked you a question and you started to answer, and I was like, "How about no?" And I was just like, went into talking about Dr. Evil. But yeah, dude, that was fun. I wish that I had more time. Like that's been the biggest thing for me.
I feel that
has been time.
And dude, you know what? That's a for me, and especially because I know why you don't have more time.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have, my man.
It is, dude, and
I'm excited.
We've talked about on the show, like I have, a job where I'm doing between 45 and 50 hours a week. Well, actually more than that. I'm doing 50 hours a week plus. This channel, trying to do a show and come up with content and, talk to Movies and Beyond people and trying to make a movie. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. There's a lot going on to where my brain is just like, if I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. If I'm not doing the, I don't remember the last time I was just like, I'm gonna do this for me, other than just sleeping. You know, like literally, like that's like today was, I want to play video games, man. You know what I mean? It's like every now and then I've been revisiting old video games. I want to do that. I want to sit here and work on a character. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot, man. And it's a good problem to have, like you said, because I feel like once, you know, one thing happens, that's going to branch off into other things. And, you know, like I told everybody where I revealed that, you know, we were making the Ring, a short Ring movie, you know, that there's another project in the works, and there is, you know, and it's even bigger, and it's just like it's going to be more time, and you know, and with it being bigger comes more things to do with it, and people to talk to, and learning about certain things. And you know, we've been lucky enough, you know, for that project to have, you know, incredible people. I can't wait to talk about, you know, who's going to be involved with it. But man, it's getting there. You know what I mean? And you throw the holidays on top of all that, and it's just like that's a setback. Like you can't sit here and be like, "Hey, I'm off on Thanksgiving. Let's work on a movie." It's like, no, dude.
People
People
got
have shit to
families.
do. You know what I mean? Like that's, and you go, well, we can do it the Saturday after. It's like, no, we can't. You know, people are out of town. People are, you know, busy doing things, and it's just like, to do this, and I will say this, man, you have to be patient, unfortunately. Like, and it's just like, I know once the first one is done, everything's going to drop in sequence. And, you know, we're getting that first one out of the way and seeing what worked and what didn't work. And you can streamline a lot of things for process, you know, and that's what this one first one is for. It's like, do I expect this to be a fantastic movie? No, dude, I expect it to be a learning experience where we do justice to the characters, but at the same time we see what we can improve on. And that's going to happen, man. And people may love it, they may hate it, and either way, you know, being your first film, and you know, I've never been to film school. I do know how to tell a story though, and making it look the way you want. I mean, you're really good with the camera, man. You're really good. I have to remember, and it's my biggest thing because I'm used to doing everything for myself, that I have people to lean on to help me. And it's a mental thing with me. It's a hard-headed thing with me. But if I don't, I'm gonna have a heart attack before I'm 50. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
always go back to the Quentin Tarantino thing, which
Yeah.
is he's one of the greatest filmmakers of our generation.
Yeah.
As a director and a filmmaker, it's not your job to create your vision. It's your job to have a vision
Yeah.
and to find the people who know how to make it.
Yeah.
And
And if I can get that through my thick head, this is gonna be way easier. You know what I mean? Like if I get there, I might be able to have some peace and sleep at night.
dude, it took me. I'm still working on that too. I still remember I wrote a script. It was one of the first ones I ever wrote. It was a short film script, and I sent it to somebody like, "Hey, dude, check this out." And he sent back, you know, he's like, "Oh, dude, I like it. This is what I would change. This is." I read, it was like, "Bitch, you wouldn't change anything. This is mine.
Right.
I like it the way." And I was like, "Wait a minute, no." So another thing I'll say is I've heard people, very successful film people, say if somebody says there's something wrong, look at it.
Yeah.
If somebody tries to tell you how to fix it, ignore that.
Yeah.
If they say there's a problem, there's probably a problem. Do not listen to how they say you should fix the problem.
Fair.
So,
Dude,
yeah.
this has been an absolute blast. And you know, a little more talk, and you know, at some point soon, I am hoping to have, you know, everyone involved in our movie on the channel, to where we'll just sit here and talk about it without spoilers, of course, and you know, hopefully have a trailer for everyone.
Hopefully have something to show.
Yeah,
for it.
hopefully have something to show for it, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm looking forward to it, man. There's so much good thing, so many good things are coming for the channel. So many good things are coming outside of the channel, for all of us, and you know, it's great, man. Hopefully I live through it. Hopefully I don't stress myself out too much, and we get there, which I know we will, dude. We've got good people. We're gonna have even more good people. and it's gonna be absolutely fantastic, and I can't fucking wait. I
Can't wait
fucking
either, man.
wait.
This has been a blast.
Hell yeah, bud. Let's go ahead and jump off here, my man. Thanks, Eric, for coming. As always, dude, it's always a blast to hang out with you and talk shop, man. And talking Welcome to Derry tonight was exactly what I needed to do. But I got some
Thanks
shit
for
to-
having me.
Hell yeah, dude. Any fucking time. Anytime. For everybody left in the chat, I will be back Friday. I will be back Friday morning to do horror talk and coffee. And I can't wait to do that because there's some big horror news coming out. Well, that has recently come out that I want to talk about. And I can't wait to do that. I love my morning show. I love sitting here drinking my cup of coffee before I go to work with you guys. So that will be Friday at, I'm thinking 11:30 a.m. Look for a thumbnail for exact time. But it looks like it'll be Friday. I'm sorry, Friday. At 11:30 a.m. Russell is saying real quick, Jerry's trying to get you to ride with him this weekend.
I'm gonna be at Disney this weekend, man.
Blows. I gotta work this weekend. Michael, you should have a Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 1 watch along for it, dude. I'm not even gonna lie, Russell. I just rewatched Season 1 about 3 weeks ago, getting ready for Season 2.
Maybe I'll do that on my
bro.
channel, Russell. I haven't watched any of it. What do I need to watch anything before I start?
Yes. You gotta watch. I would watch Godzilla. I think it's 2014, the one with
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, and then I would watch Legacy of Monsters just for point of reference. Godzilla or King of the Monsters. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, King of the Monsters makes sense.
Where are my Godzilla movies? Yeah, King of the Monsters. I'm sorry. And that's my favorite Godzilla movie of all time, right there. Unless you're going back to like the older stuff, like 85 and stuff like that.
I thought -1 was.
It's up there, brother. It's fucking up there. I'm telling you, that's probably to compare the two. It's not comparable. But King of the Monsters has it has 11 in it from Stranger Things. It has Vera Farmiga. And it has what's his name? The dude from Friday Night Lights, the coach. He's the main coach from the TV show.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's freaking amazing. And then this show comes in with Kurt and Wyatt Russell, dude, and it's just like, you freaking serious right now? Like you're gonna throw, and they play the same guy, an older version and a younger version, and the show bounces back and forth. So Kurt Russell has his son playing him. And it's so freaking good. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here, dude. You guys are great. Don't forget, shameless plug, $1 Patreon a month. Now is the time to join for only $1 a month. That's $12 a year for a bunch of extra Michael. I mean, shit, I'd pay $12 a year. Probably not. I'm probably worth like 40 cents, but that's fair. Eric, dude, a million thank yous for coming on, brother. Always good to hang out with you. Let's go ahead and get out of here for the night. And everybody in the chat and watching on Rewatch, I will see you next time. Peace.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey, you